everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Ideally, though.
Ideally, though.
If you're new to the pod, my name is Erika, and with me is my hubby, my bestie, my butter biscuit.
Here, what
Hope everybody had a good Halloween, whether you celebrated it or not. I feel like
Yes,
we had a successful Halloween.
that was successful. Check out the pod if you didn't already about the Halloween trip we did have because that was
Yeah.
awesome. Good times.
And then I was so surprised that I hate to toot my own horn, but like it was like my costume was such a success.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So like last week we did Murray and Dion from Clueless, and after the pod we went and took our son trick or treating, and yeah, it was a house that he went to, and it was like four ladies there. And all of a sudden they just start screaming, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they were like, "Dion, Dion,
Oh my God, Dion, we love you. You're the
you're better
best.
than Cher." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And besides that, there were like people who did up to us and was like, "Oh, I like your costume."
Yeah, it was mostly you. Let's be real. I got one that entire time. It was you. And I mean, to be fair, you nailed it perfectly. That costume was done to its best extent possible.
For me, when I feel like dressing up as someone, I really want to get details.
Hmm.
That's why I start really early getting my costume because I don't want it to be like, "Wait, who are you?" or like I'm not sure, so I want it to be like to the T, like
Yeah,
from the hat down to like the shoes.
yeah.
So we had a good time. Usually when we take the kids trick or treating, it's only like an hour.
Yeah, yeah. It really wasn't that long. I mean, because his bucket and stuff,
Yeah,
th- their buckets rather get full relatively quickly,
yeah. We
and
tend to go earlier
yeah,
than most.
because I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be out there all day, and it's in the
Yeah.
colder type of the season, so you know what I mean. It's gonna get
Hmm.
colder as the night goes on anyway, and it's kids in thin ass costumes in the middle of the fall. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and most of the time, I mean, the kids just get the work done anyway. They stomp the grounds, get their stuff, and be ready to go anyway.
Yeah.
So
I mean, ever since I had like our first daughter, she's really like, okay, I'm done. Like, it doesn't take long. So I was like, cool. I hate being out anyways. Like,
yeah.
but I'm glad they're not like screaming and crying when we're like, it's time to go.
Uh-huh.
They know that it's like, okay, I've been walking. The bucket's full. I can't put no more in here.
Right.
And if you notice in the last couple of years, especially like 2020 when people didn't go out,
Mm.
people are just now starting to want to open their doors and give out
That's
candy.
not a
It's
lot.
dwindling.
It's not a lot still. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a significant difference over the years. I've said that like most neighborhoods I've been witnessing have been like just closing doors on Halloween. Ain't letting nobody in, ain't putting no
Yeah.
candy outside the door. And it used to be the entire neighborhood. And that's how the buckets got filled up so quickly because you
Yeah.
didn't really have to go too far.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
can
saying?
hit like a block and be
And
good.
be good. And
Yeah.
so now it's different, but the kids kind of still have the same attitude because, once their buckets are full, you start noticing then like the car is a little further away. So,
And then they gotta walk.
and now we got to walk.
So I
So,
was
yeah.
always like happy to have kids who are like, yeah, I'm not too selfish about it. Like I have enough candy.
Yeah, I'm done.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And we always stay in the same neighborhoods. And again, we go a little earlier so that we can beat the rush of people coming after work
Good
and stuff
parking is
like
key.
that.
Good parking is
Yeah.
key.
And
Yeah.
we just found our neighborhood and just stayed with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate to see it, but I can't wait to have like a full blown house so we can like hand out candy because that's always what we did growing up was hand out candy. So
Yeah.
I like that seeing the costumes.
And like I said, starting to kind of get into the rhythm of things with Halloween. I didn't celebrate it much at
Yeah,
all when I was a tiny tot, let alone a teenager. So, uh, I mean, that would be the next jump is to like start, I guess, passing out candy and stuff
yeah.
like that, which would be pretty cool. I think I'm excited for that portion too.
I'm like that. Our kids are kind of like years apart because it's like she's a teenager where Halloween is stopping now. And now I'm like, oh, like thank God he's small because we can do it for much longer.
Yeah.
Because you really take it for granted. You're like, oh, like am I gonna have to stop trick or treating? You kind of get excited for stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's why adults who used to trick or treat and then you get to an age where you're just no longer doing that. That's why adults switch to being the ones who give out the candy.
yeah,
You're still doing something to the cause, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And so you just want to contribute in that
Hmm. Last week we saw finally it was the end of Young Thug's like court case.
Yeah,
How long has it been? Like 2.5 years,
yeah,
something like
yeah, and I
that.
think that's one of the longest in the state's history or whatever.
It's really long, switching out lawyers, I think, or trying to get
Yeah,
judges switched,
I
and
mean, whole lawyers going to jail for,
yeah,
their client or whatever.
ridiculous, like just things that just come up every time the case comes up.
Hmm.
But how do you feel about him getting 15 years probation?
Uh, I'm gonna say it's not it's crazy,
Hmm.
but I'm not surprised about it.
I was definitely thinking that they were going to throw the book at him
Mm,
because how long drawn out it felt like this case has been,
hmm.
and how ridiculous a lot of things happen in the court.
Hmm.
I was like, they're going to throw the book at him,
I think
and
there
I was
was
surprised.
I think there was many times in the case wherein they could have totally made it a mistrial. There were just too many
Yeah.
missteps from the state overall. I mean, and mishaps that happened in the courtroom that in itself it felt very clownish. It felt
Yeah,
like a circus. And
absolutely.
all the things that I was able to watch at a glance, because I wasn't paying like the most utmost attention to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like always in my purview, but what I did see and what I was, hearing on other like podcasts or whatever, it seemed like this case could have been open and shut, basically with a mistrial, and a lot of taxpayers' money really didn't have to be spent.
That's true.
Yeah,
I hate when I see those long drawn out cases because then I'm like, oh my goodness, all of our money is going to this.
yeah, yeah,
Just some things I saw with like I guess stipulations with the probation. I
yeah.
saw that like he has to agree to random searches at any time, take random drug tests. I mean, that's a given. Refrain from promoting gangs in any way,
Yeah.
and avoid associating with known gang members, excluding his brother.
Uh huh.
I think also like he's not allowed to have like rap about
Yeah.
gang
He
like
can't say
activity
certain
and
words
stuff.
that like slat shit and slime shit and all
So
that.
Slime is
All that stuff
considered.
gotta go. All that stuff you can't say no
He
more.
better go hang out with Krishan
It's
Rock and
a
do some
brand new repertoire he has
Jesus
to come up
rapping.
with. Jesus rapping.
You know what? With 15 years probation, that's a long time. Now,
Yeah.
this is the thing. It depends on how like dedicated you going and how serious you're gonna take this. Because you can be with Kanye West and Jeffree Star in Wyoming, just kind of doing your thing, make music,
Holy shit.
send it to your producer, have people come over less than 10, do a music video, green screen it up, and call it a day.
Yeah.
So you really have to be dedicated and really take your life
Hmm.
serious. For some people, I'm like, that's a long time to not get in trouble.
Yeah.
But like, stay at home. Maybe use Uber Black. If you're driving, make sure you're always on the speed. There should be really no reason to. You can't be in the clubs no more.
Nah.
You can't do drugs.
It's literally a thing of changing his entire environment now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like there was a video that just came out recently where he popped up with Ti, which is
I saw that.
great to have as a mentor or whatever he's going to be, and
Could
whatever
he
purpose he's going
hang
to
out with
solve.
Ti?
But I don't think it should be a thing if you're underneath this whole Rico umbrella. You know what I mean? Because he's had his own cases he's had
Yeah.
to worry about, and it's great to have him as a mentor. That's why I said that, because Mans can rap. Maybe
Mhm.
he could get some skill, gain some skill out of that, and change some things for the better.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's a swell move to be back in the same environment and neighborhood, or even around the people who could be connected in other ways. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe stay away from them Atlanta rappers because you're banned from Atlanta for
Exactly.
10 years. So we don't want any reason for people to see you on
Exactly.
TikTok, online, and be like, you're hanging out with Ti from Atlanta, y'all in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Call your probation officer. We
Yeah.
see that shit happens with Gypsy Rose on an every other day basis.
Yeah.
Them trying to send her back.
Hmm.
So I think with him, stay clear. Like, I'm not telling you to be a hermit, but any little thing that happens, somebody's gonna try to get you, and they're gonna throw that 20 years at you.
I think the constant reminder that your life is always on the line for the next 10 to
Hmm.
15 should be enough to keep you. I mean, it's got to update the lifestyle. You got to change the lifestyle. I mean, funny enough, being one of the bigger songs he's ever been a part of, right?
Hmm.
I feel like it's gonna have to be a change of his personal lifestyle completely, personal change of environment. Like I'm looking, like I'm the type of dude that would be like, yo, I'm going to Colorado on a range some goddamn where, and any people that I know that are safe, I'll fly them to me, and I'll
Yeah.
fly them back if I need to see them or whatever the fuck. But I'm keeping my nose clear. You know what I'm
I
saying?
would always have my lawyer and some
Word.
kind of I would all my money would probably go to bodyguards and things like that. Like he's allowed to travel for work because he's
Yes.
a rapper,
Right.
but I would be very strategic and mindful and like really like conscious of where I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you have to be uh you have to have your contingency plans in line. You never
Hmm.
rely on your plan A. Maybe rely on your plan B, and then super duper rely on your plan C working out. You know
And
what I'm saying?
anytime he'll get like he can like get stopped by the police like for speeding, and then
Mm-hmm.
he can get has to do like a whole 20 years.
Yes.
So imagine doing 13 years, like you're on your 13th 14-year probation and
Yeah.
you get in trouble.
I'm not
Now you have
driving
to do
shit.
20
I'm not
years.
driving shit. I got enough money. I'm hiring a driver. You take me everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm
so
doing
I'm not
all the
liable.
precautions. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that like I keep my nose clean, because that's why I said I wasn't surprised about this. I mean, Meek Mill had like a insurmountable amount of time. I think it was
Did he?
just about the same amount of time. I think it was in
I don't
Philly or
feel
something like
like
that.
it.
Yeah, it was, but it was from his early years before he was a rapper.
Oh, okay, because I remember he went to jail, and then that's when he was Nicki Minaj. He came out.
Yeah,
He got
yeah,
that
yeah,
me and
yeah,
him
yeah.
running.
Yeah, he had a bunch.
So
He got a bunch of time too, and probation's kind of like the dangling the carrot in front of the horse. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
question: can you get like time, not like good time, like served or something like that, if for probation, or is it just stick?
I don't know. I think it sticks, but I could. I mean, I'm not.
I just would think I
I'm
would.
ignorant of that information.
Yeah, I might would talk to my lawyer after a while, maybe 5 years, and just check and say, hey, I've been doing well. Like I have a good. Can you talk to the judge
This is
just
a
to see?
this is a monthly basis. That nigga is on retainer because he's kept me out of federal prison.
A
That guy,
whole
yeah. Shout
Rico,
out to that lawyer first off.
a whole Rico case.
Yeah, he beat a RICO case. That guy's price, like yesterday's price, is not today's
Yeah,
price for that
absolutely.
lawyer for
But
sure.
this is the thing about it. Now that he has been able to work, not say worm his way out of it, but he didn't have to go to jail.
Yeah,
Anybody who comes after him, any rapper who's caught in something similar,
yeah,
they're throwing the book at you.
yeah. This is gonna be one of those situations where oh, we
You
got
have to make an
away.
example.
This next one, Dunzo.
Yeah, and they're
And I
gonna be
mean,
strict
it
on them.
doesn't look good for Diddy being in the situation he's in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying it looked good in the first place, but I mean, if they're gonna make an example of somebody, why not make an example of one of the bigger ones now
Yeah.
that since Young Thug got away?
I think the Rico cases are really big.
Hmm.
So I think that he needs to be careful because you're always gonna have a target on your back
Always.
from the government. They're gonna be like
Not
waiting
just
for you
from
to
the
slip up.
government, it's other people that want to make you slip up.
Like
Other
who?
your
Like who?
enemies outside, the people
Oh.
who got away. You got away with something. We didn't get our lick back.
Mm,
There's always going to be that like emotion from somebody. You can look at war torn cities across in the Middle East. Somebody out there hates us for some reason.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And we didn't do anything particular, but you know what I'm saying? We got away with something. There's plenty of stuff that like Young Thug might have been accountable for and might have actually did. But seeing as how he out scot free with some probationary time, somebody might be there to set him up one day. Somebody might be there to
You ain't
to
gonna
help
catch
him
me.
get his get him in a pinch. So I mean, this is a this is a level of consciousness that you have to have that's different. This is
Yeah.
I have to switch all shapes and forms of what Young Thug used to be. Nigga, I ain't even Young Thug. I'm Jeffrey.
Yeah. What? And
Yeah.
you know what? This is a new challenge for you. See how good you can do with being a better rapper.
Yeah.
Start getting some roles
Yeah.
and see if you can make more money just trying to be the lowest of keys
Nigga, be
ever.
diversify your bonds,
Yep. And
nigga.
if I take a role, I'll be like, listen, and I will make it up. Per my probation, the people who can be on set at every given time is about less than 10 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I need to make sure I have my lawyer on set.
Yeah.
So I need witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah. But
What
also
kind of movie
people
is
that's
this
gonna
going to
keep
be?
things in order, and that circle of trust needs to get as from as big as it was, it
To
needs to be
small.
small,
Hmm.
and it needs to be regulated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody needs to be on board, because if he wants to the to keep the same success he did have, as a meteoric rise as he did, um, he's gonna have to make the safest moves possible. Because if not, that's it.
You know what sucks too? Getting a probation officer that's a dick.
Yeah, I bet.
Can you imagine? Just like sometimes you look out and you get somebody who's like, I'm gonna work with you, but
Hmm.
of course they're like, no, but you need to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to. But there's
Right.
sometimes that come in. Where was you at? I knocked 5 times. You wasn't there, and I'm writing this down for a judge. And you're like,
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready. You have to make sure you're letting everybody know who needs to know. I'm going out of town. I'm doing this, and I would be hassling them where they would be like, "Girl, shut up! Like, stop calling us." Well, I just want to make sure I can go out of town.
Right. Right.
You know,
Pester at that
yeah,
point,
I'm definitely
because
pestering.
especially if I got you on retainer, I'm paying you. I'm getting what I paid for.
Yeah,
Let me know I can do this. Let me know I'm clear. Let me know what I have to do.
and I need confirmations written. I need written
Yeah.
correspondence. I need verbal. I need all that if
Yeah.
I'm being honest,
Yeah.
because I don't
It's
trust it.
That's why I said it's a different level of consciousness you're gonna have over this situation. There is no more young thug. This is Jeffrey. And I mean, I don't even think Young Thug could be his name if they were if it was in his probationary thing. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he has a brand and they can't tarnish the brand means he could keep it.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that you have. So make sure that you keep that brand away from the bullshit that it was behind.
I wonder because you know how he can't rap about anything kind of like gang related or associated with whatever went on. I wonder if that also includes features. Like if I'm featured on something, I'm
Yes.
not saying anything, but the person might say something
No,
that's
that's
okay.
different. That's different.
Because I'm gonna be like, listen, I need you to send me what you wrote.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that before it gets out, I would have to do all that because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not getting in trouble. So I would double check that as well.
I mean, I would do that in general just to make sure, because, like, I mean, I've watched and seen too many things over the past few years about how, like, these, yeah, young Chicago kids, these dudes out in the UK and all this, like the
Hmm.
drill and all that stuff, like how they get back at people. And I mean, they'll put you on a song that is disrespecting your ops without you knowing. So
Yeah,
that's a smart decision. But that's what I'm saying also when I'm speaking to the probationary stuff, where I'm like, somebody might just be out there to set him up. So it's a different
yeah,
level of consciousness. I'm moving. I'm not being in the same
yeah. I'm
area. I'm
not.
not being around the same people. It's just not.
And
Nah.
if I'm gonna do features, I'm gonna be very careful. Like I'll do features with Drake because he's just gonna be on some lover boy ass shit.
Yeah,
So, but
basically.
again, I'm gonna need you to send your shit over. I don't get, how people like Beyonce be like, here's the beat, and she sends it over, and it's very like secretive. I think Rihanna does the same thing. No, I'm like, if you want to be on it, I need to know your final. I need your final cut
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna be on no. You ain't gonna like do some weird Houdini shit on
Yeah.
me
But then, I mean, you should be fine with who you work with if you are
if you
conscious
trust
enough
them.
of, you know, uh, and especially if it's higher profile. Like I said, I mean, I might not do the music with Ti, but I might take some lessons from him and use those same lessons, and might do a song with Drake, might do a song with somebody who
Could
is a
he do
little
it with
more
Gunna?
commercial, a little safer on the edge. You know what I mean? Not to say Drake is safe, but like a little
He is
more,
safe.
you know, relatively speaking. I mean, hence to not like us, but if you make that the route, then that's going to be your best bet.
Hmm.
It's not doing anything with anybody. And I know that they said, like, yeah, you can still talk to your brother. I would still talk to my brother, but I would have to ensure that my brother is still not talking to anybody else. Like, there's so much of so far of a spectrum on that situation that, it's too much to think about for him. it's
Well,
it's
you got
gonna
enough
be a
time.
yeah, you got enough time to do so, and you're gonna have to be conscientious of it, because I mean, 10 to 15 or 20 years behind bars,
Hmm.
you'll be having enough time.
I'm not willing to risk my life for nobody.
No,
I'm not going to jail for nobody. That's my motto.
that's fair.
So you'll be arguing with yourself. That's why I stay in the house.
Yeah, I
Cause
mean,
I could be a real thug.
yeah, in my house. Yeah, in my
Right.
house.
So I mean, speaking of rappers, Wednesday we saw that DDG did the Kai Cenat like live stream, and he
Yeah, that's right.
brung Baby Halo, and Kai Cenat, he has like millions of people on his stream.
Yeah.
So Halle, she took to Instagram or X actually, she took to Twitter and was like, I did not approve of this. No one notified of me of this. I've been going through severe postpartum, and I'm very saddened that my son is going to be there in front of like a millions of people.
Hmm.
You know, whoop, whoop, whoop. So we know that she's not with DDG no more, and she's out of town, is what she said. I see both sides. Coming from somebody who has had a baby by somebody and then end up not with them, I'm expecting you to have my baby, or around people that I would have around, or like move the way I
You'd
move.
approve of.
Yeah, move the way I move. Not
Hmm.
to say Kai Cenat is unsafe, but we know that he has hella shenanigans going on in his house. So I'm not gonna be approving of that. Who's there? I don't. What's the pranks? I think in the beginning it was like, oh, someone's breaking in, and he's like, "Bro, get me out of here. You know I got my baby." But like, is this a prank? Cause I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut
Hmm.
your head off. Like, stop playing with me.
Hmm.
Do you feel like it's important, even if you're not together, to let your baby mama know about where you're taking your kid, or you feel like you're grown enough to where you don't need to be saying that because you're the daddy?
I mean, if there's an agreement in co-parenting, then yes, I think you should.
Hmm.
And from what I've seen, they agreed to be co-parents. I mean, he put up a post on Instagram when they did break up, saying that they would be, doing that shit together as far
Yeah,
as taking care. So, I mean, if there is already an agreement, he did the slip up. He fucked up. I don't care about past situations wherein maybe Haley, I can't,
yeah,
yeah, um, wherein I don't care about any past situations where she may have, posted the kid, or they were together and posted the kid. In this instance, since we aren't together, that stuff changes.
yeah.
And if I'm not going to be okay with that already. If this is something that we might have discussed prior, I don't know if they did or not, but I mean,
I don't
you
think
know,
so.
uh, if I wouldn't move like that
Hmm.
naturally, especially just because of her brand and things of that nature, then maybe you do discuss it.
I think so.
I don't think he took the right steps. You got to kind of understand also a woman who just recently gave birth to a baby and is going through all these changes and things. It took me a long time to learn, but you would have to try to understand a bit where um they're going through so many things mentally and physically
Hmm.
and emotionally that your availability and the more flexible you can be as a person is going to benefit everybody as a whole. And her saying that she had the postpartum is what scares me even more so because he definitely as a man DDG doesn't. You got to be aware of that stuff.
I think when being young, even older men don't understand that, but you have to gauge your wife, your baby mama, especially with the first baby. We tend to be helicopter moms. So, and she's famous, so she hid her pregnancy for as long as she could. So it's just like, bro, like, I didn't want him on that stream. Yes, given he was on Snapchat, we brung him out more so DDG brung him out. But you should have told me about this,
Yeah,
because then we can agree,
yeah,
or we can talk about this. So I,
yeah.
I see that. She did
It's
yesterday say that she's like, I might have overreacted. Maybe I shouldn't have came to X, but you got to understand, like,
Well, I mean, it's different when it's your personal platform. It's not their personal platform. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
said, he has so many people watching him,
that's true.
on a daily
Yeah,
basis. It's a different type of platform. It's like putting the baby's face on CNN. How
yeah,
many people
yeah.
around the world are going to see that then? You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I don't think it's the same caliber only because like I now understand what like postpartum is.
Mhm.
And I understand how helicopter moms technically operate, right? Wherein if it's the first baby, you got to kind of slow yourself down as a man and
Yeah.
realize that like no, yes, you guys that's like awesome. That little human is great and everything. And it is yours, dude. It is
Yeah, it's
totally yours.
yours, but
But it's really like hers,
it's
my
mine.
guy.
I don't
It's
care what nobody say.
really hers and there's a level of relinquishment you got to give up as a father
Yeah.
and but you don't lose anything from that.
No, I feel like you just have to be really considerate of the mother.
Yeah.
She's a good mom. It's this thing, and I've been in this position where you take the kid, and I'm hitting you up like, hey,
Mm.
I want to talk to them, and you're not answering. Then you go on panic mode, and then you also maybe could be dismissing her. So and it's like, what can I do? I'm out of town, and if you're putting your foot down, I'm putting my foot down. It's a stalemate.
Yeah.
So that just adds to us not really messing with each other and
Right.
fucking with each other, and it makes it harder for a co-parent. And I feel like that was kind of the situation. She probably tried to call him like, "Bro, do you have my baby at Kai Cenat house?" And you know how he act, but you a goofball. And as a good girl, you start when you mess with them goofballs. It's all good in the beginning until you have a baby with them, and then everything's a damn joke. But I have to give him this, that he does protect her. He did go online after she kind of apologized and said, I should have brung it on the platform. But y'all understand where I'm coming from. He said, leave her alone, because people are kind of like, he the daddy, he can do what he wants. Not, I don't believe necessarily so. I think there should be agreement on both ends. I think that, because I would consider you, if you're like, wait, hold on, who do you have the baby around? If I've run across that too, who's the baby around? Just like how I'm gonna be asking, he's allowed to ask as well. So
Yeah.
I think we have to consider each other.
It's
And
a
they were really,
mutual
yeah,
thing.
they
Yeah.
were really on her though online. I was like, y'all
Of
need to
course they
stop it.
were.
Y'all don't understand. Like, she's a
Of course
mother.
they were. I think it's mostly young women.
Yeah.
Yeah, young women who don't really.
He's a daddy. He's a good, but
Yeah.
it's like not about him being a
You
good
don't
daddy.
have that extension. You don't really
Yeah.
understand it. And I mean, you won't until you get into that point.
Yeah.
You won't understand it until you get to that
And I wholeheartedly believe he is a good dad. Like, I see them, I love them. I see
He
them
loves
on
being a dad.
TikTok.
You can
Yeah,
clearly see it.
on the street.
I also do believe he's a huge clout chaser, and that's one of the reasons why this is an issue.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully they work that out and be more mature, because it took me a long time to get mature. And I mean, but it happened,
Mm.
where I didn't have to feel like I have to run behind you every second and be like, where's my baby? Because I would do that with anybody. And I think that's where people don't understand.
Mm.
I would do it with my sisters. I'll do it with my dad. I'll do it with you.
Mm.
So, it's not like it's like I'm doing it with this person, but not Like, I
Right.
need to make sure, because if something happens, then what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kai Cenat's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah. It's
It's almost like going on a red carpet. Hold on. We
Yeah.
didn't talk about this player.
Yeah.
But I believe that they'll work on it.
I
They'll work
mean,
on it.
yeah, over time they will.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I saw, it was so cute. So on the stream, he was like, "Let me get the bottle," because he was about to cry, and then you can hear him say, "Give me the bottle." Or it was like something. It was like that.
Mm.
And then Kai looked back and he was like, "Bro," and then DDG started smiling and laughing. He was like, "He's so smart." I was like, he literally almost said a sentence.
Yeah.
Like, what is?
That's adorable.
So I
Little
wonder what
humans
they.
are
So
special, man.
cute.
They're fucking special.
Yeah.
Until they grow up.
Yeah, and then get on my nerves. You guys, like, being a parent has been tough. You think you get it once you learn how to change diapers, hold the baby, take him to the first day of kindergarten. I unlocked a new level of parenting dealing with a teenager, and it drives me to drink. And you know, y'all thought about abandoning my family, because I don't gotta deal with this shit. I don't. Like, the fuck. That's why I'm like, okay, I feel like no matter how old they get, there's gonna be something that you're gonna need to be there for.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to, like, walk them through.
Yeah.
And I thought at some point I would be, like, able to throw them out the nest. Yeah, no.
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 On worse news, Tuesday was election day.
No, speaking of shitty humans.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure I got some Republicans. I got some
I bet we got
the
a
Democrat, like
fair
a
mix.
different mix. And everybody's gonna have their opinion, and I'm definitely gonna have my opinion because of my platform. I was shocked that Kamala did not win.
Mhm.
I was disappointed in a lot of people
Mhm.
for not voting.
Mhm.
I was also disappointed in certain parties the way they voted.
Mhm.
So black men not voting for Kamala, I was like, well, you don't love women or black women. Gay people not voting for Kamala. I mean, when Trump talking about, overturning, like, same sex marriages. Um, Immigrants, Hispanics not voting for Kamala. I was like, so did we not just learn yesterday that he said day one he would do Operation
Yeah, the
deportation?
Yeah.
So I was like, what's going on? Is this all about maybe getting a stimulus check? Is that where your minds are? It's this weirdness. Seeing black men, seeing women.
So I
I was shocked
I've been
and
looking
disappointed.
at the exit polls for a bit, and it's been interesting to see that as many black people that we, especially black men that we did see, who were touting Trout, there was a fair amount of black men and especially black women who still tried to save America. We still tried to do our thing and save America. That is true.
Mm.
I do agree with you in the black men who just didn't, like 100%. It should have been just all blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
Hmm.
opinion aside. Um, but I will say that the real true disappointment for me are the white women in my eyes and the Latino men.
Why do you say white women?
Because they don't vote with their own, I feel like, vigor. I don't feel like they have their own mind about that stuff. Like, uh, they don't go against the grain, or willing to allow someone to get a feat that they haven't received before.
So some white
So I'll
women.
say this: I don't want to make it about color or any of that racist bullshit because fuck all that. I don't like it at all. But we haven't had a white woman president yet. Why would we put a black woman president
Yeah,
inside of
it's
the
too. It was
office?
too much of a leap.
You know, and we're progressive. Don't get us
We're
wrong.
not.
We're totally progressive, but we can't be that progressive because we there's a step that they haven't got to yet. I think the disappointment is in seeing that the white women who voted for Trump don't fully love themselves, it seems, for there to be a threat against women's rights, in particular, reproductive
Reproductive systems.
rights,
Yeah, I
and
thought all women.
everything in
We
between.
should have came together for
That
that at
should have
least.
been a, yeah, landslide victory as a whole, right? Um, but I won't put all of it on them. Like I said, the you did speak to the Hispanic voters,
Yeah.
the Hispanic and Latin men. Uh, Major disappointment there, and the reason why I feel that that's a thing is because they're always included in the black and brown sentence. That phrase, black and brown people, black and brown
Yeah.
this, black and brown, and yet in a moment of unity where it's needed the most,
I feel
where
like we got their whole
people
ass.
you know, you live with, you grow up with,
People you call your homies.
can
Yo.
be deported day one or a threat of it because
Yeah.
of being undocumented. You
Your
know,
family.
your own family. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting to see how that mindset is, and there's a very gray cloud over it with, oh, it's about the economy and it's about, but we can't seem to forget that Trump Trump inherited a good economy from what Obama had to clean up.
And then Joe Biden had to inherit Trump's economy.
Exactly. After Corona, for that matter.
Exactly.
All this stuff is circumstantial. And everybody, I feel like this election cycle definitely spoke their true emotions and voted with emotion and not logical sense whatsoever. Common sense is not common at all.
Yeah.
But stupidity is fucking abundant.
I have to say, I was excited to see so many Hispanic people saying Hispanics voting, and because we haven't seen this big amount of Hispanic votes since the 80s.
No, no, Obama.
Obama
Obama
really
pulled out
well.
a lot of Spanish
I
votes.
when I looked at just looking at
No,
some facts, I saw like 80s, but that would be good too. I mean, at least it's closer than 80s. But I was like, wow, wait. So we wasn't looking at each other thinking the same thing before we went to the polls. So that was really disappointing. I I'll be lying if I said on Wednesday I woke up and I the whole day was shitty for me.
right.
And you can say, "Oh, it wasn't shitty for me." Oh, no, it was. It was a big disappointment. I don't care what no one
Yeah,
says.
I mean, you're a woman in America right now who had to watch as the person who is threatening your actual physical civil rights as a woman could be taken away. And I, as a man, was completely disappointed because I can't do anything to physically protect you. The only thing that is the option would be able to become expats, right? We're moving
Right.
at that point.
Yeah.
But it's sad that it feels like the celebrity and the social media aspect of this entire cycle and the um, lack of proper management from the Democratic Party. I I respect the fact, and I'll give grace to Kamala for
Hmm.
actually doing what she
Just
did.
stepping up.
A 75 to 100 day run is
Exactly.
fucking tough.
Somebody saying, "Hey, I need you to do something real quick. I know you ain't never done this, but
Yeah.
here you go." And she stepped up.
But still and yet, I don't think the Democrats in the cabinet or in the system or whatever really truly understand where their faults lie. I've spoken to this plenty of times before.
Hmm.
I've said that they or we or whatever have a management and a marketing problem.
Yeah.
That's just big deal shit. We don't need the ads that attack Trump as a person. We need you to tell us the policies that matter. We need you to tell the people what they want to hear.
Towards the end, they were more like, they were really booming on
Is
some
it best
things.
to keep all of your load all the way for the pedal, the gas, right there at the end, or should
No,
we
you do
be
it the
pedal
whole
to the metal
time.
the whole way?
Yeah.
Really getting everything across the entire way. Uh, there is a level of, I think, arrogance that the Democratic Party has, where you know uh, they're not. They think they can just rise off of the normal
Diversity.
diversity and the kind of grassrooty civil rights movement feel that it kind of likes to project. But I don't think that's the thing. They have the same type of Republican stances as Republicans do.
Yeah.
They're two wings of the same shitty fucking bird. And in my opinion, they need a lesson learned. And this now truly is the lesson learned. This is going to change not 4 years. This is decades worth of change that will come.
The only thing we can hope is that after 4 years, we can do, if it is bad, we can do a lot of rebuilding. Now, being black in America, our ancestors, our grandparents, they know the struggle. They were around when white only drinking fountains. They were around when there was no same sex marriages. So I would love to see those boomers and those Gen X's stand up and tell us it's going to be okay and that we've had worse. So we're going to get better.
Mm.
It's just us millennials trying to like hype each other up and just try to figure out things. I think everybody was definitely confused. I also want to say that I was disappointed in how many people who didn't vote. I was like, wow, this is really irresponsible.
Yeah.
Really irresponsible. And you know what? I want to say something else. Florida, y'all a bunch of big back bitches. Not all of you, but y'all stay doing. They're on brand. I'm just saying, Florida on brand. They gonna be red. Florida, they gonna be on brand. But you don't.
Every election cycle, I just go to YouTube and I look up Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Florida. And I watched that little clip of Bugs Bunny as he takes a saw and he just saws Florida right off of the continent and it floats off into the abyss of the ocean.
Just saying, Florida,
And
Texas, they all on brand.
yeah, it is definitely on brand. It's definitely on
But
brand.
I have to say this: I can't talk crazy much. I can, but like being from Nevada,
Yeah.
we
We didn't do any better.
we didn't do it. We were blue 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it looked like some big bad bitches then entered our fucking state
But we
and we
can
were leading in red. And I was like, are you kidding me?
we can thank the people who moved from California because I mean California, as far
California's
as we
blue. I was like, Jesus
right,
Christ.
but the Republican
They
people
all just
from there,
moved.
because of the I mean, granted, California's had some weird shit. I wouldn't move there. I'm normally blue. I still
Yeah.
wouldn't move there. and because of just certain shit that has gone down, that they move over here and now they sway things over in
Yeah, it just
Nevada
sucks.
now.
I mean, Vegas or so Las Vegas and Reno were blue. We're
Hmm.
blue. Like we
So I
got common
mean, hey,
sense.
we hear what
But the rest of them Winnemucca's, them Dayton
the
counties,
Eli's
and
and shit.
it's real ghetto.
Yeah, real deliverance like.
um, I'm just, what I'm doing. I'll stay prayed up, and I'm just gonna keep moving forward, and do what I need to do.
um yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. This is a
Hmm.
moment in time where we have to get grassrootsy. I
Yeah,
think the Democratic Party and just us as communities as a whole, we have to build
we have to do
together.
community and say F the government, because now Senate is all Republican for the most part. We have to, yeah, like you said, it's all about community and.
Building those communities are going to be key,
Hmm.
and really standing on top of unions.
Yeah,
Unionizing and coming together is going to be lead to significant changes there. You
yeah,
know, the power of assembly is going to be great for us in these next 4 years. Um, Taking it back to these grassroots moments, I'm thinking of things like civil rights movements where we do march. Now, I've been seeing things where it's, Jill Stein or whatever put up a link or whatever that said the Women's March, and everybody that I was following was like, "Girl, fuck
we
you,
was like, shut up, girl,
shut the
just
fuck
shut
up,
up.
girl."
I mean,
But our own, the more and more the older I get, the more and more I'm starting to understand Dr. Umar and what he means by like not necessarily integration, but getting resources and things from certain people and then bringing that stuff over to us and teaching us and having our own sounds better and better each year I'm alive.
hmm
And this is one of those times where we as a people have to buckle down and kind of do those things.
yeah,
It's a take care of each other type of situation. We got to like round each other up and
the
be
way
like,
they
look,
do.
huddle up. We got to hang tight,
Yeah.
hold strong. This is one of those steady, hold
How do you
moments.
feel about like the whole 4B movement?
4B.
So it's like this like radical movement
Hmm.
that started in South Korea back in 2019.
Okay.
It's a feminist movement. People like to say
Interesting.
radical, but the women are not having sex with these. So for United States, with these Trump supporters, we're not having sex with them, babies with them, relationships with them. That's the 4B movement.
Oh, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. I
Yeah,
mean,
no coochie for you,
I
at
mean,
least for
hey,
4 years.
I mean, I fuck with it. Why not?
Yeah, so that's starting to be a thing, and I'm so happy when I see men all colors, white men, Hispanic men, who are like they're just as disappointed as I was,
Yeah.
and they're voicing it, especially on a big platform like Instagram, X, and TikTok.
No, I will continue to voice my disappointment for the next 4 years. Whenever anything fucking comes up, I'm going to stand on what I say. I have I have a black son I have to worry about, and I have to worry about Trump worrying turning into or giving police a complete immunity.
Hmm.
I have two black or three black important women in my life: my mother, my wife, and my daughter, who could possibly like completely lose some type of civil right they actually have, some type of right they do actually have. If I got to stand 10 toes down with my own arms, I'll do it in front of you. And whatever I have to do as far as the groundwork is concerned, I do it in front of you because this situation at hand, this is where we're needed the most. Men as a whole, right now, we're needed the most. None of this manosphere shit where, alpha, beta, but fuck all that. That means nothing. It
Hmm.
means nothing. Reality is here. Reality has really tried, like, really set in. And some people have to wake up. I hate the fucking term now, but some people really have to wake up and understand that, like, people's lives will be changed soon, here, quickly,
Yeah,
and what you can do about it will be very limited. But what we can do, we're going to have to do
yeah,
to make some critical changes.
yeah, absolutely. We don't tend to talk about politics, but I was like, I'm not gonna. I don't care. I don't. I have to say something. Like it's been on my freaking spirit for a couple of days, and I was just like,
Yeah.
no one talks to me. Like, let me crawl up in the bed and
Yeah.
just try to figure out my life
It's been like
choices.
that for a few days, and I
Yeah.
mean, I respect it. I like I said before, I think the Democrats are going to learn a lesson here, and I think the right people might like rise out of the ashes, if you will, with this, with a new phoenix of and brand of what a Democrat should really be about. It's not about the fucking person we're running against. It's about the people we're running for. It's about the people across the country and across the nation and even overseas who have the same rights as us, that need us. That
Yeah.
need us. And I mean US people in overseas, not overseas. Take care of our own
I saw
child.
everybody like I saw like these group of women in every country saying we stand for you women in the U.S.
That's
And I
nice.
thought that was amazing. I'm like, why can't you guys be progressive? I can just even name like the UK. They've had 3 prime ministers that have been women.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they've been white, but who cares? They've been women. It's
That
been diverse.
speaks back to my point earlier,
Yeah,
where they white women are going to vote for or with whomever they relate with, and that's that white
it
man on
wasn't.
stage.
Yeah, it
It's not
wasn't Kamala.
necessarily going to be Kamala. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I mean, we can't negate those facts there. We
yeah.
can't negate those facts.
All right. Well, is there any last words of wisdom you want to get off your chest before we head out for the weekend?
Take care of yourselves out there.
Now, remember, you guys, we do drop our new episodes every Friday on all streaming platforms, and we're on YouTube on Sundays at Ideally Though Pod. So, like, subscribe, hit the bell button,
Share them shits.
and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.